Welcome into Hockey Sense, everybody. How are you today? As always, brought to you by First Community. And we love our friends over at First Community. Sign your son or daughter up for that Little Blues program and do it today. Ages 4 through 9, comes with all the equipment. And I'm talking skates. I'm talking stick, helmet, everything. Great instruction. Reasonable cost, too. You get a number of ice times. And your son or daughter can figure out if they like it before you invest thousands and thousands of dollars. By the way, if you're going to invest any money, do it with First Community. They can find ways to take your money and make you even more money. But get your son or daughter introduced to the game of ice hockey with Little Blues. Nobody supports hockey better in St. Louis than First Community. We love all our friends over there. Glenn Barks, everyone over with First Community. They just love the game and they support the game. Those are our type of people. They just announced Alexander Steen and Barrett Jackman going into this year's class, actually the 2026 class, because the ceremony won't be until January. Get your tickets. Go to stlouisblues.com. Get your tickets. Do all of that. But the Blues Hall of Fame is brought to you by who? Brought to you by First Community. It was great to see my boy David Corbett down at the Enterprise Center last night. He's the guy that makes all the jackets for the Blues Hall of Famers from Bespoke Apparel. Go in and see him there in Clayton. Get some custom suits, custom shirts, custom pants, whatever it is you need. He'll take great care of you. This guy's unbelievable. He's been making my suits for years. And I've introduced a lot of different people from the Blues to head over there. And now you have so many Blues players who are also getting their suits made by David over at Bespoke Apparel in Clayton. And not only Blues players, but players who used to play here who now play elsewhere around the NHL. And he continues to make their suits because once you get a suit made by David, you're not going anywhere else. And this guy's legendary. Still makes clothes for Deion Sanders, made suits for Muhammad Ali back in the day. I'm not even joking you. I mean, he's the most interesting guy in the world. David Corbett. Saw him last night. Great to see him at the Enterprise Center. Getting Al McInnes and a lot of the original class of Hall of Famers for the Blues, getting them fitted into new coats because the jackets have changed colors a little bit and you want the first class to match the jackets that the 2026 class is getting. But First Community brings us Hockey Sense each and every week. Of course, Blue No Roofing. Call my buddy David Novak today, 314-920-5713. Get that free estimate. You know, insurance companies will sometimes, they won't pay for your roof if it's 10 years of age or older in a lot of cases. So check out the age of your roof. Get it taken care of while your insurance company is going to pay for it. That's a little secret. David Novak, man, he'll help you out. Siding, soffit, fascia, roofing, whatever it is you're looking for, gutters, he can take care of everything for you. He is truly the best in the business. Blue No Roofing, diehard Blues fan, probably is not in the best mood today. We'll talk about that later on. Cross Country Mortgage, my boy Mark Cooper, 314-713-4377. First responders, your mortgage is covered up to $525,000 in the event that you are critically injured in the line of duty. Can you believe that? I mean, mortgage covered. You can go to sleep at night knowing your family's going to be taken care of. They're not going to be stuck with a mortgage payment they can't afford. Completely covered up to $525,000. They've got great incentives for doctors as well. Right now, if you mention Hockey Sense, they're going to waive all the closing costs on your refinance loans. And we got loans right now in the 5s and the 6s. So call Mark Cooper today. Find out why 1 in every 35 closings in the country are done with Cross Country Mortgage. That is a factual stat. 314-713-4377 for Mark Cooper. And again, mention Hockey Sense, mention my name, no closing costs, no appraisal fees, nothing like that. It's going to save you north of $2,000 for your refinance. So take advantage of that today. Lordo's Diamonds, get that special someone, something special in your life over at Lordo's Diamonds. Say hi to Mike and Jimmy. Stop on in there. They've been around for 70 years. Find out why. Best customer service ever. No better place to get the shop for engagement rings. If you're looking to pop that question, get to Lordo's Diamonds in the heart of Ladue today. Right next to Truffles. You can call them 314-432-8008. You can check them out online, lordosdiamonds.com. You go in there with a $500 budget or a $500,000 budget, you're going to get treated exactly the same. They are the best when it comes to customer service. No one does it better. That's why they've been around for 70 years over there at Lordo's Diamonds. And, of course, Dirt Cheap Fun, your one-stop party shop. Get it delivered. use the promo code BLUES, and it's free delivery. And don't sleep on the party supplies over there at Dirt Cheap. They got the best selection of beer, wine, and booze and all that. But if you've got Halloween parties, Thanksgiving, fall parties, whatever it is, campfires, get all your paper supplies and decorations and everything that you need from Dirt Cheap. But again, free delivery when you mention the promo code BLUES. Download the app today. Get your delivery going. You don't have to leave your house to do your shopping over at Dirt Cheap Fun, your one-stop party shop. The Wallace family flat out getting it done as they always do. We love everything about the Wallace family and what they do with Dirt Cheap Fun, your one-stop party shop. All right, down to business. The Blues lose last night. 7-4 the final. They got the empty netter at the end. I thought we were going to see a miraculous comeback. The Blues were down 4-0 in a blink of the eye in the first period. You hate to see that. I mean, you can use different ways to break it down, and you can say they didn't start on time and all of that. Listen, when you don't get saves early in the game, that's what it looks like. So, yeah, they didn't come out and they didn't play their best in the early going. But, again, Joel Hofer's going through a little bit of a rough patch. Hopefully he can turn it around maybe on the road if he's able to get a start here in these next two games. The Blues leave today. Tomorrow they play in Detroit. Then Monday against Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Crosby's got like 6 goals on the season. He scored 2 more last night. And the Penguins are 6-2. So, good on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Listen, hockey's better. The NHL is better when Crosby and the Penguins are winning and they're playing in the playoffs. I want to see Crosby back in the playoffs. And if he can do this by staying in Pittsburgh and not having to go and chase it and leave like everyone's suggesting that he do, man, that'll just be legendary stuff. He's approaching 1,700 points, by the way, Sidney Crosby, in his historic career. The Red Wings, they've lost a couple of games. They got off to that fast start, right? And now they've lost a couple. They lose 7-2 last night to the Islanders. It's fitting. Matthew Schaefer, he's gotten everyone's attention with how he's played to start his career. I think he had points in like 6 straight. Played the most minutes of any player 18 years of age or younger. Earlier this season, he had the longest point streak by a defenseman to begin their career. I think he was by any player 18 years of age or younger, not just defensemen. I think he tied Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby. But it's fitting. They score 7 goals, and that's when his point streak ends. How does that happen? He had no points in the game, but he was still at +2, still playing big minutes. He was the youngest player in NHL history, at least youngest defenseman in NHL history, to score a game-winning goal a couple of games ago. So Matthew Schaefer, Patrick Waugh, a lot of good things happening there on Long Island. The Blues will be there next month in November, so we'll get a chance to see what Matthew Schaefer looks like up close. Unbelievable skater. But the Blues, man, this is not what you wanted with a 4-game homestand. It didn't start pretty, and it didn't end pretty. The 2 games in between weren't terrible, right? They got a big victory against Dallas, looked great in that game. Had a hard time generating offense against the Kings, but they still got a point. You would have liked to get the second point, but Binnington was great in both of those games. The Chicago game was just ugly, like we said. And then last night had a little bit of everything. It was ugly and beautiful at the same time. I mean, you had some real positives that came out of that game, but the power play had an opportunity to really win the game for the Blues. They got the 1 power play goal, but they just couldn't find a way to get another. And they had some chances when they had the momentum. It's not like they were getting power play chances when they didn't have momentum in the game. They had momentum and they were getting power plays, and that really could have brought the house down and really could have led the Blues to a complete comeback. But they made it 5-4. Philip Broberg, who's been playing some great hockey. I mean, you just watch this guy skate. And I was talking to him yesterday prior to the game about, using his feet, going wide. He just kind of, he just really hadn't been doing that as much or had the opportunity to do it, much like we saw last season and in the playoffs and even in the preseason this year. Sometimes you just need those opportunities to, present themselves. And it did yesterday. It's great having Oscar Sundqvist back in the lineup. Had a couple of amazing assists. I mean, his assist to Nathan Walker was incredible. Just threw sticks on a backhand, just put it right in the wheelhouse for Walker, who did a nice job finishing on the play. But then his pass to Broberg on Broberg's wraparound goal was unbelievable. But it's interesting how when you are down in a 4-0 hole to begin the game, just how that affects everybody else on the team. It affects your depth players. They're not playing as much. You're trying to climb back into the game. And, even for a guy like Jake Neighbors, he ended up being -3 in last night's game, but I just didn't see him on the ice a whole lot. And then you look at it, I think he played just over 13 minutes, didn't really seem to find his rhythm. The Thomas unit um, was getting the majority of the opportunities on the power play. I think the Shen Neighbors unit did hop over the boards first on like the third or fourth power play. Um, I think it was the fourth power play. And, listen, I think it was a wise move by Jim Montgomery. You just had to mix it up because the first unit just wasn't getting it done when they had that chance on a couple of those power plays when they were trying to climb back into it. But Jake just didn't seem like he was able to find his rhythm. And, a lot of that may have to do with the fact that he just didn't see as much ice time, just didn't get on the ice that much. Shen was a physical force, and you like to see that. But they got to find some guys to step up and produce offensively, which is the challenge right now for this team. And, I don't want to keep resting on the fact that it's still early because I don't want to minimize the importance of how critical these points are for the Blues to get here in the month of October, especially when you're handed a 4-game homestand right off the bat. I mean, you want to really take advantage and get out early in the season feeling good about your game. But they're having a hard time scoring goals. Walker gets a goal. Sundqvist gets a couple of assists. He had Pius Suter come through. Broberg come through. So, even though the Kyrous and the Thomases have been quiet, Snuggerud's gotten a little bit quiet the last couple of games. Didn't play a ton in the previous game against LA. I think he had one shift in that third period. So these are all learning experiences for all these guys. Buchnevich gets on the off the schneid, gets his first goal of the season last night. They just need a lot of these guys to really get going at the same time, and hopefully that can happen back on the road where the Blues played their two best games, really, of the season in Vancouver and Calgary. I mean, you can say the Dallas game was a good game too, but I thought they really played with a lot of confidence on the road in Vancouver and in Calgary. So hopefully that repeats itself against a Detroit team who doesn't have Patrick Kane right now. There was some talk that he was only going to miss a couple of games, and he's missed the last 2 games, so he could very well be back in the lineup when the Blues see Detroit on Saturday. A lot of goals scored last night. I think 89 goals combined in the National Hockey League last night. 3 different players getting hat tricks. Logan Cooley had 4 points for Utah. Utah's a good team. I mean, Clayton Keller had 3 points, but Turk is doing his thing. I mean, all these guys up front, they've got a lot of skill. They look like a different team. They had 5 players in the lineup last night who were drafted in the top 10, which is just incredible. I mean, and that's how you turn your franchise around. When you have 5 players in the lineup at once drafted in the top 10, and I know the Blues have a lot of former first-round picks that are in the American League right now and some good players who are in the American League, but these guys weren't drafted in the top 10 except for Dvorsky. Dvorsky was 10th overall. But, I mean, they're not getting top 5 picks. Haven't had a top 5 pick since Alex Pietrangelo. So, just tough all around. Keller is just the Blues killer. And I love talking to Clayton. And listen, I think he's really put himself on the inside towards making that USA Olympic team. I don't know how you leave him off, to be honest with you. He's gotten out to such a great start. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, how are you going to build a team? You need to have, guys who can check and guys who can kill penalties. And he's a good player, man. I just think you got to find a way to put him on. And I know the rosters are increasing, and he's a guy, even if he's not in the lineup to start the tournament, which would still be a little bit shocking for me. You still would love to have him on the team. I know Caulfield's getting a lot of attention. He's scoring a bunch of goals right now in Montreal. There's just a lot of good players. Tage Thompson, obviously, in Buffalo. Is going to certainly get a lot of attention, especially after what he did in the World Championships. We had Billy Guerin on recently on the Chemistry podcast, and what did he say? He talked about how it matters if you go to the World Championships, and if you don't go and you say no, you better be pretty effing good. I think that's what he said. So anyway, we got a lot to get into on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Chris Wideman's going to be with us. We're going to talk about Logan Mailloux with him. He'll know about Mailloux a little bit, obviously, because of Wideman's connection to the Montreal Canadiens. And, it gets to a point, I think when you have a young player like a Logan Mailloux, I think everyone's just got to calm down, maybe just kind of leave him alone for a little bit and just let him find his way on his own. And when I say everyone leave him alone, I'm not talking about the Al McInneses and the Chris Prongers and the Robert Bortuzos. I mean, listen, that's a great luxury to have for a young defenseman. That's internal stuff, right? When you have the voices and the experience and the knowledge internally, you want to take advantage of that. But I think a lot of the fans are getting on him and whatnot. I mean, I've said it now for 3 weeks straight that you may not be able to judge this trade until next Christmas at the earliest. And I'm talking about December 2026. And that's at the earliest. It may be another year from that point before you can truly break it down and get an idea of who won the trade, who lost the trade, and what the Blues have in this young defenseman who played his 13th career NHL game. So whatever he's lacking in NHL game experience, he's making up for it in resources around the team that can truly help him. I know it's gotten out there now that he watched a good portion of the game with Robert Bortuzzo, watched a couple of periods with Bortuzzo. Al McInnes slid over. They watched some of the game together. I was with Chris Pronger when he went up to Logan Mailloux. We were walking out of the building after the, I guess it was the Dallas game. And Pronger said to Mailloux, hey, listen, get my number or take my number and you call me. And let's talk. Pronger's been through this before. And different situation. Pronger was, the second overall pick, high expectations, turned into a Hart Trophy winner and a Norris Trophy winner and all of that. And I don't know if that's in the cards for a guy like Logan Mailloux, but again, he was a first-round pick, would have gone even higher if he didn't have some of the controversy that surrounded him at the time. And if he didn't tell every team in the league, hey, don't draft me, then he probably would have gone maybe as high in the top 15. So we'll talk with Chris Wideman. But defensively right now, the Blues are just trying to figure it out. I mean, you got different guys playing with different guys pretty much every game, every period, every shift. They're just trying to find some combinations that work. And whenever you try to mix in a young, inexperienced player, I think, that's what happens. You just, guys are going to play with different players. Tucker, it's different for him. This is the first year that he's made the team out of camp, I believe, or at least knew coming into the season that he was on the team. And he's been fine, but Fowler wasn't going to be able to maintain the pace that he was on last year. That was going to be pretty unrealistic to do for a guy like Cam Fowler, although obviously he can still play some really good hockey. Falk, he had another turnover yesterday, and Peterka nearly scored, but it was a good recovery by Falk. It kind of had that man strength on the younger player. But again, don't panic. There's time to obviously correct things, but getting on the road may be just what the doctor ordered. We'll talk about that with Chris Wideman coming up on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Kirkwood Fence. Hey, listen, get your fence and get it today. And get it from Kirkwood Fence. I got my fence from Kirkwood Fence. Listen, this was an easy process. I got a vinyl fence, all white. I mean, it's super nice. And the best part about Kirkwood Fence, again, I always talk about the customer service, but if you ever have any issues, and we've had those tornadoes and some of that stuff that's, happened obviously with, some of the weather that we had last spring, and you're going to find that here in St. Louis. I mean, you want to make sure that you have somebody who you can turn to that's going to help you when those situations happen. And in the case of Kirkwood Fence, they come right out and they fix it. Like, no questions asked. They just take care of you. So, Kirkwood Fence, you got to love your fence, and you will with Kirkwood Fence. Schedule a free design consultation with the experts over there at Kirkwood Fence. You can check them out online, kirkwoodfence.com. You can get that estimate based on your budget, based on your fence style of the whatever you choose. There's so many different options to choose from. Their installers, 5-star installers, by the way, will come out, take care of everything. You'll enjoy your fence for years. They take care of all the permits and all the zoning and all that type of stuff, property lines. Listen, they take care of all that for you. You don't have to worry about a thing. So Kirkwood Fence gives people the outdoor space of their dreams by building quality fences that last, and that is the truth with Kirkwood Fence. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, Chris Wideman, we'll talk things over with him. Great player from St. Louis. Had a lot of success in the American League and in the KHL. Dealt with a lot of injuries in the NHL, but had a lot of success playing with Ottawa and finished his career with the Montreal Canadiens. I'm looking forward to this conversation, plus Jamal Mayers later on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. We are in the Half Coast Studios, our Friday tradition. Don't go anywhere. Back here in Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community, Chris Wideman. Your hair looks good today.
Thank you.
What'd you do to it?
I went to Dry Bar at 1580 South Lindbergh, and the other location is in Clayton, 7806 Forsyth. Quick plug. Thank you very much.
Do you go in there and get your hair done? Do men do that?
We do have some male customers. You know, I try to pull the rope when I can, get in there and help out. So,
what are you doing?
Not day to day.
Are you really working there? Like, are you coming in and
just
saying hello and
drop stuff off? You know, maybe sweep the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Kids are good.
Kids are good.
Family's good.
Family's good.
I feel like you're out of town. Everyone turn around, dude. Like, I texted you yesterday to come in today. And I'm like, he's gonna be out of town. I have to check your Instagram to see where you're at.
Well, my wife's.
Are you wearing a a kilt?
I'm off the socials. My wife's documenting our life for us.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, my wife does that.
Yeah.
You gotta get a hold of that sometimes.
It's crazy. It's too much. Way too much.
You were wearing a kilt. I swear.
I think over the course of the last handful of years, I've had a few kilts on.
What was that? Were you in Scotland?
I was at Joel Edmondson's wedding.
Where was that?
That was in Scotland.
It was?
Bro, yeah. It was a good time.
He's the best.
A lot of blues and ex-blues there, so we had
that made it out there?
Oh, yeah. It was a great time.
What time of year was that? Like, obviously summer.
That would have been June, yeah.
Okay.
That was June.
Yeah.
So we're finally recovered from that and looking forward to a great fall and holiday season.
Saw him earlier this week, obviously, when he came in with LA and LA's not a bad team. I don't know. They play a certain style, which is not fun to watch. I don't know how closely you've watched them. But,
yeah.
What are they doing here?
Like,
can't even get shots on goal.
Not the most exciting. Honestly, like what Kopitar has been able to do at this age and still being a dominant player in the league is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that, that Byfield's a great player. They got Kempe. They got to figure out what's going to happen with that. And, it's.
If you were Colorado, would you rather re-sign Natchez or wait and see if Kempe becomes available and get Kempe? Because I think that's the carrot that they're dangling in front of Natchez. Hey, you don't want to take the money here, man. We're just going to go sign Kempe instead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Natchez has fit in pretty good.
Yeah,
like I was, you think about like Rantanen being a left-handed shot, McKinnon a right-handed shot, how that change was going to work with having Natchez as a righty. It's looked pretty good, but having that option in your back pocket to go out and sign Kempe is not bad. So we'll see. I think it's I don't think you could go wrong either way.
All right, I'm watching Utah last night, and listen, we all know Clayton Keller, obviously, and he's always been the face of that team offensively, but they've got more than just Keller now. And Cooley gets the 4-point night. He had the hat trick, the natural hat trick in the first period. I still can't believe he turned down. I think 9.85 was the actual number that this guy would turn down. Some of these young guys, and I know they're all getting paid money, but when your best players are making 8, I think that's what Keller's making. He's making like 8. How do you do that inside that dressing room and turn down that money? I mean, help me understand this.
Well, I think it's the economics of the league are changing, right? The cap's going to go up, and I would suspect that I think he has till January 1st to sign and get an 8-year deal, right? And then after January 1st, 7's your max.
Correct.
So 8 years at $9.8 million, right? To take a 7-year deal and amortize it, like you need big money, right? Like I don't know how you walk on that money. And 2, like I think the extra year of security, although the cap should be going up and you may be a little underpaid at the end, like you're still comes out of that deal under 30 years old, like you're going to get another contract.
Are you in or are you out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, do veteran players, like when that gets out, is that a conversation that takes place in the room? Like would a veteran player be like, hey, why you don't want to stick? What is it? Like would that, or does everyone just kind of like let the business side, you do your thing and we don't get involved in that?
Yeah, I think guys just let business happen. I don't think there's probably not a ton of internal pressure, but you look at the deal that Lane Hudson signed in Montreal. I think the guys that's a pretty eye-opening deal, right? He comes in the locker room, the guys are like, this guy probably took less money than he could have got, wasn't a distraction about it, right? Got it done right away, and basically said to the team and the fan base, like, I want to be here.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And they gave him a ton of signing bonus money, right? So there's a
That's a luxury you have
Yeah.
when you're
yeah.
probably the most, I don't know, top 2 or 3 efficient teams in terms of
Mm-hmm.
making money, right? Like they've got a
Does it feel
strong-
different playing there in Montreal? Like because they have so much money, do they are you treated differently?
Yeah, they.
I mean, you came from Ottawa too, like in the different teams. Like,
Yeah, I mean, in Montreal, there's a family room. They've got a daycare for the kids, so the wives can watch the game. Like it's they go all out. And Jeff and Kate Molson are, the best owners that I've ever been around in sports, and they know, every wife's first name, all the children's names, your parents' names. Like it's a real sense of family there, and I think, what they're building and they're setting that thing up to be very competitive for.
Who was
stretch.
closest to Montreal, where you played, where the ownership really looked after the fans? Was Edmonton good?
Edmonton was really
Yeah, I
good.
hear
Yeah, they do a great job there. I played a very, very tiny bit in Florida, but that was before they were kind of building what
Yeah.
they have now. I hear things are great there, but
Yeah.
I think it's becoming competitive,
Mhm.
right? Like guys, when they're going into free agency, right? Taxes are a huge thing, quality of life, but then, what's the ownership like?
Yeah.
What's the investment into the current team, and what are they willing to do moving forward to make the team competitive?
And listen, I always go back to Florida. And I know when all these guys signed their deals, it was before this next CBA was agreed to, and we know that the cap is going to be going up as much as it is. But it's like, Barkov signs for $10 million, then Kachuk comes in at $9.5. You got Reinhardt at $8. It's just like everybody's kind of falls in line. Bennett stays, and it's like they always take their money. Nobody makes more than Barkov,
Mhm.
and it's about winning. You know what I mean? And I know you get the taxes and all that, but it's really about wanting to stay there and win, and then obviously Marchand stay. I don't know. I just think everybody falls into play. I'm just shocked that, and I talked to a couple guys yesterday about this. That's why it's on my mind with Logan Cool. I'm just shocked that he would turn down that money. But
I think it's, he's a really good player.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, like I've watched the highlights this morning, like he could be a dark horse for the Olympic team, right? As you look at how they rock, like he's a bigger guy.
Mhm.
He may be able to play up and down the lineup a little bit. And, obviously you're looking at the Olympics in front of you, but at a certain point too, you got to prepare for the one coming after, right? You got to really build that USA
Pipeline.
hockey team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We talked to Billy Guerin about that like a week ago or so. And it's not just about the Olympics now, but then you have the whatever they're going to
World
call
Cup,
it,
I think
World Cup.
yeah.
So 2 years after that, and then another Olympics. And that's why it's like, I think people were surprised that Hudson obviously didn't get invited to the orientation
Mhm.
camp. But I wouldn't read too much into that. It is what it is. And maybe it doesn't make sense on the surface. I even told Billy that. I mean, like, I go, is USA hockey that good now? We're the Calder Trophy winner. Can't even go to the camp. And he's like, yes.
I mean, I'm not going to use the GM's name or the team, but I was told by a GM, and this kid wins the Calder, right?
Mhm.
That there's a team in the league that he wouldn't have been in every night. He wouldn't have been in the top 6 every night, just the way that they were built.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Right?
And
And like you think about that, but like I'd take that kid on my team any day.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
he is. But, for the role that he would have, you have other guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I get it. I think he has to keep a long-term perspective too, and he'll put that jersey on at some point. He'll be a big part of US hockey.
100%.
And it could even happen. Who knows if injuries take place and what goes down. I thought his dad kind of put him in a bad spot there. That was probably wasn't a smart move. But I love the way the kid came out and how he handled it. But
I think the contract situation kind of squashed that, right? It's like, hey, like this is who I am as a person. I, want to be here.
Well, he also said, "Listen, I'm USA all the way. I'm not." Yeah, his dad said he can play for Canada too, and he was like, "No, it wasn't smart."
It's tough in that market too, right?
Oh my God, this is the NHL. Is your dad talking for you in the National?
In Montreal, especially. So.
Yeah. So, but he is fun to watch. Caulfield, would you put him on like Clayton Keller, Caulfield? I mean, is there room for all these?
I mean, I don't know how many guys they take. I think Cole's had a great start to the year. He had 2 goals last night, and I know that part of his motivation and playing well. And I mean, you look at just in the last, 3-4 years since Marty's gotten there, I mean, he's really turned into a full 200-foot player, and he's got a great line.
Really? See, people don't say that about him. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you go watch those guys play. I mean, that line gets tough matchups. Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield. I mean, they play 200 feet because they have to.
yeah.
They're seeing a lot of top line matchups, and it traditionally or historically over the last handful of years hasn't been a deep team, right? So they had to carry the mail offensively, but if you don't play defense, you're going to lose, right? So they starting to get competitive, starting to be a real team, and I think they're top 5 in the league right now. They're 6-2, I think. So
yeah, oh yeah, no, they've gotten off to a great start, which is important, But like people were putting them and Detroit in the same category because they both got off to good starts. Now Detroit's lost a couple of games in a row. They got pounded pretty good last night by New York. Gave up seven goals. But as a defenseman, though, you see this Matthew Schaefer come in at 18 years of age, and Hudson, like his brother at BU, like he may even be better.
yeah, I know.
This guy's unbelievable. When did this become a thing where all these you were considered, like, you got to the league because of your skating for the most part, right? Like
When I was 25, I'll never forget Mark Crawford sitting me down and said, hey, you're going to be in and out of the lineup. You're going to watch. You're going to learn. Your time will come. Now, if you're 25 and you're not on a long-term deal, I'd start thinking about life after hockey, right? Like it's totally flipped, especially, being a defenseman in the NHL is probably the hardest position to figure out, right? Like you've got to be, dialed in on, your stick, positioning, watching for matchups, trying to figure out like what the other offensive players are doing, but then, what they're doing collectively as a team. It's a lot of information to retain. Some of these young guys that have come in and performed at a high level right out of the gate, they're anomalies, right? Like typically
they're not all doing that.
it's going to take, 150, 200 games to figure out what you are as an NHL player, especially as a defenseman. So I think it's what that Schaefer kid's done has been unbelievable.
He scores in every game. He got points.
He might make Team Canada.
Oh my God!
I don't know how. I don't know who you take off, but
Celebrini, would you put him on there? He gets 5 points last night.
I would. Yeah, I think it's again like you gotta. I don't think anybody that you're taking out for him, you're not going to change the trajectory of that current team, but I think you got to build for the future, right? Because there's going to be another Olympics, there's going to be another World Cup. Like you got to start building.
And he can fit in right now. And
yeah, he
can play in your bottom six.
He's a world-class player, and I've heard very good things about him as a teammate in person. So.
Yeah. How familiar are you with Logan Mailloux? Like, were you pretty familiar with him in Montreal?
Yeah, spent a lot of time around him. Actually, big fan of his. Think he's, a great player and going to be a great fit in St. Louis long term. So excited for him to have this opportunity and watch him grow and become a great NHL defenseman.
So how tough is it when you get off to a slow start, in and out of the lineup, not playing a ton? He played 10 minutes last night. I think they're trying to find the right partner for him.
Yeah.
They started the game with last night with him playing with Cam Fowler, which, I thought was going to be interesting to see how that would play out. And I think the way the game turned early, it just kind of affected how much he was going to play throughout the course of that game. But when you see him play prior to him coming to St. Louis, like what stands out? Like what can Blues fans expect and come to appreciate eventually about his game?
Well, he's 6'4", can skate, really heavy shot.
Tough.
Yeah, he's tough. He's got some sandpaper. I would assume that throughout most of his life as a offensive defenseman, he's been able to outscore any defensive deficiencies, or has almost been coached that way. Like, hey, don't worry about it. Just go get one back for us, right? So when you come into the NHL, that's not realistic, right? Like you've got to figure out a way to figure out the defensive zone, be stable defensively, be reliable so the coach can get you on the ice, and then, build your game defense first and then focus on offense. So, I would say it's pretty normal what he's going through. I think it's probably hard mentally for him, just, trying to figure out you're in a new place, new surroundings.
The trade.
Yeah, I mean the trade's tough because you've got the situation in Montreal, they got a surplus of defensemen, right? So they're gonna move somebody out. St. Louis probably had the same situation at wing, right? So they make the trade. I thought it was a good hockey trade for both sides, but you have Bolduc has had some nice production early on in Montreal, and it's a big market up there, so everybody's
And it's loud, and it's getting a lot of
and he's
attention.
French too, which scratches a lot of backs up there.
And he had a
So
great second half here last year,
he's a
right?
good player. He's a
So
good
the
player.
fans
But
really-
so is Logan, right?
Yes.
So if you look at valuing players, right, you've got a 6'4" right shooting defenseman that can skate, right? Those aren't in the draft every year, right? So you've got a chance to get this guy and keep him on the team, right?
And develop him.
You could go get a winger every year in the draft.
Yeah.
Wingers, they grow on
Grow on
trees,
trees.
right? Like you're gonna get another winger. So I think it's patience, but like the Blues also really aren't in a position where they need to rush him, right? They can kind of let him figure it out. He can be in and out of lineup. He can play. I mean, you got Fowler, Parayko, Falk. Like those guys can eat minutes, and they actually probably are better above that 20-minute threshold than they are closer to 16.
Broberg too, yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is.
So I mean, I'm not concerned for him.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the deal, and I think all the stuff that he's going to go through in this little short, stint of trying to figure it out will make him a better player.
Cam Fowler told me the other day, and listen, I've heard this for years. I mean, going back to when Eric Johnson came here as an 18-year-old when he was drafted first overall. And Al McInnes would always say, well, it takes guys 300 games sometimes as a defenseman before you really start to feel comfortable and, develop as a D-man. And fans don't always want to hear that. And I don't know if it's going to take 300. I mean, Broberg's played 150, and he's there. Matthew Schaefer's played, a handful of games. So everybody's different, but I would say, like, right, 200 games, it takes time. I mean, even Jake Neighbors, he said it took me 100 games, to really start to feel comfortable. So how do you look at that, having been in those shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably 150, 200 games to figure out, like, all right, this is what I am as a player, right? But then removing the hockey from it, right? It takes probably that amount of time being immersed in the NHL to figure out who you are as a professional, as a person, father, husband, whatever it is, right? Like you've got to fit all of that together and figure out how you can become a consistent performer. And I think, that comes with just going through the experiences of it. So, again, some of these young guys that have come out and performed really well, then you see the sophomore slump, right? Then everybody's like, what the hell's going on? So it's, again, very few guys blast in and take off for their career. And usually the guys that struggle early on and can endure the hard times, become more successful in the long run.
How's a Noah Dobson doing in Montreal?
I think he's been really good. Like I had seen him play. I'm just really, I guess, I impressed on how steady he is, right? Like it's not super flashy, but it's like consistently making the smart, right play. He's got a great deep partner, Mike Matheson, who's, to me, one of the more underrated defensemen in the league. He plays huge minutes there.
The names you're mentioning, this is why Logan Mailloux was expendable.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Caden Gooley, you've got Lane Hudson, Arbor Jack guys not going anywhere, right? And then they've got a rotation of guys that fill the other spot, but they've got a strong decor there and just a really fun brand of hockey they play.
How important is it to get off to a good start? Like, how does that set the tone for a team?
More for the quality of your life, right?
Yeah,
like it's, I think, what's the statistic? It's at U.S. Thanksgiving. If you're in the playoffs, you've got like an 80% chance
something crazy
to get there at the end of the year.
And the Blues, listen, they've had a couple of seasons where they've chased it, and they've had a lot of success. They did it last year, obviously, when they won the Cup in 2019, but you don't want to make a habit of doing that.
And I think this year, especially with the condensed schedule because of the Olympic break, is like a 3-week break. So I think we're I don't know, 2 weeks into the season, right? Some teams have played 10 games.
I know.
That's a lot, right? So if you're
Florida did right off the bat. They played like 7 games in 10 days.
if you're sitting at 8-2 after 2 weeks, probably a pretty good feeling, right? You feel that, you get the momentum going, everybody feels good about it. But, on the other side, if you're sitting at 2-8 and you're looking at a schedule of 7 games coming up in 10 days, and you don't feel good about yourself, the season could be lost, very quickly this year.
And individually, right? I mean, Crosby's got 6 goals right now. It's like this guy is
There's nothing better than feeling good about your game, getting a couple points on the, first night of a 3-game and 4-night stretch, right?
Yeah.
But if you go -3 and you have a tough one, you're like, I don't even want tomorrow to come, right?
Man.
Could be a tough stretch.
What about Joel Hofer? Like, he's got so much ability. I was at the game in Calgary when he just stood on his head. He was unbelievable. So, like, and we've seen him play great games in the past. What do you say to a goalie who struggles in back-to-back games like that, gets pulled, can't finish the game? 2 of the 4 games on this homestand he started, and neither game went very well for him. Goalies, you just leave him alone, or do you try to encourage him?
Well, I think that having a partner like Benner is probably very helpful. A guy that's a really good pro, is mentally just, locked in and knows how to just kind of control his situation. So I would assume they're able to lean on each other and been around those guys quite a bit. But, obviously Benner's one of the better goalies in the league, but really impressed by how he carries himself. So I would assume he's a very positive impact on Hof.
Yeah. And I know the plan was to play Hofer more this year.
He's a good goalie.
Really good
He's
goalie.
big, right? You can't teach the size. He blocks a lot.
Right.
So, it's again, probably one of those stretches where like games are coming quick. You don't feel good about your game. Almost like a negative, right? But if you're feeling good, like Dobish in Montreal, right? Like they're playing every other night and he's getting in the net. He's what, 5-0?
I know.
It's unreal.
He's unreal.
It's unreal.
He really is.
I mean, when he first came, I'm like, all right, can someone just like hit him with the puck? Like in practice, he wasn't like, then he gets in the game. We're like,
what do you mean?
He couldn't save a soccer ball.
Really?
Yeah.
The first time where the guys being like, oh my,
they're like, oh man,
I can't stop the puck.
And then he gets in there. He's a gamer, man. Like, he's funny and he's kind of just like a little bit of a goofball. Like, I think the guys really enjoy and like having him in the room. It's good personality, but like what he's done this year.
I was coaching AAA with Scott Sanderson and Lubos Barteko when he came over. And Lubos was the one who brought him over here and was like, this kid, like, he's like
crazy story.
I'm like, what? Like, Lubos was like very nonchalantly, he'd be like, yeah, he's like on radar for national team. I'm like, and he's coming over here to play U18. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, doesn't even make any sense. And he came here, he like instantly like loved it. And his brother comes, and then and he was so good. Like, I called this high school state championship game. I didn't know it's mid-states hockey, whatever, but he was playing at this Smet, and I'm between the benches, and like he made like 60 saves, dude. They couldn't score on this kid. He was unbelievable. And then he went to Blues development camp the year that the Blues won the cup, and he was like the best goalie there, but he really wasn't there to earn a contract. It wasn't really great. He was they needed bodies.
Yeah,
the Blues won the cup. They kind of put a prospect camp together. Actually had the camp down at the Enterprise Center. So I don't even know how many goalies they had there that were actually belonged to the Blues. But then he lit it up at Ohio State, and now he's doing his thing. I had him in here during the summer, man. I couldn't be happier for him, but I think he is legit good. I don't think
he's really good.
Yeah.
No, he's really good. And he had a great start last year when they called him up, but this year he's been, really solid and giving them the stability to not play Monty every night,
Yeah. He scored a goal in midget hockey.
Really?
Like, went over the top, like, from its goal line.
He's not afraid to play the puck.
No.
This dude is out of his net. I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah, it was like a pulled
He loves
goalie
to touch the
situation.
puck.
He just he comes out of the net, and like just like all of a sudden it's like over it over everyone's head, and he scores a goal, which I don't know. I've never seen that happen at the youth level ever.
I don't know if I haven't seen a goalie goal in
No,
person.
no,
They're pretty rare.
I know. Well, I wasn't there for the game, but it was on video, and you could find it. But pretty unbelievable. So, what do you got going on, man? What are you doing?
Oh,
You want to get back into hockey? Like, are you?
I'm doing some stuff right now. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've got NDAs signed all over the place. I can't
you
even
do?
talk
You can't
about it.
even
Yeah,
talk
no,
about it.
no. I've honestly, I've enjoyed watching my sons just getting started playing, learn to play. So
Yeah.
trying to be as
Is he
involved.
doing the Little Blues?
Doing Little Blues. Best. I can plug those guys. The best.
First Community is our title sponsor here, so they put on Little.
It's
Blues,
the best program I've ever seen.
Ever.
It's unbelievable. With the coaching and the organization, like everything's
All your
organized.
equipment.
Oh man, I couldn't believe it. First class.
My son started with that too.
Yeah,
And I loved it.
yeah, they do a great job.
We did like 2 sessions. Like,
Yeah, I think he's gonna do he did the whatever, the early fall session. Now he's gonna do the next one. So he loved it.
okay,
It's great.
that's a good plug. So
Yeah,
how old is he
absolutely.
now?
He's gonna be 4 in December.
Okay.
So he's a little young for it, but I mean, there's not a lot of activities for that age. So I'm like, you're playing hockey.
Yeah, exactly. Just go play hockey.
And mom's got a great line. She's like, people ask my wife, like, hey, is Henry gonna play hockey? And she's like, well, I don't want to learn the rules to another sport. So yeah, I finally learned the rules to hockey.
So I got a kid who's playing hockey. My daughter plays soccer, but my wife literally has a book that she reads at night.
Yeah.
That teaches her about soccer.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
she doesn't know anything about soccer. She's like, it's so embarrassing.
It's
Some of these moms, like, they're so into it. They know everything.
that's a snooze fest of a sport.
I know. But like when they're at the high levels, like it's fun to watch.
Well, yeah. I'm just thinking of like
No,
watching
it
my
is.
3-year-old
Oh no.
chase the ball around in a pack, and they don't even need a net out there. So
No. And Alex, his kids are good.
my brother's kid is so they got one. They're expecting one in January. He's working with dad at UBS.
Yeah,
So
good.
got the whole my sister's over there too. So the whole family. I didn't get the invite. I'm on the outside looking in.
You're on the outside.
Yeah.
Do you still have your camp going on and all that?
Yeah. So they still run my brother still runs a
And
camp.
my kid did that for like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
too. So it's like that's a great.
Yeah.
Great
I
camp,
would
too.
say our retention rate there is like 85%.
Yeah.
He barely even opens
The
up.
attention rate or the retention?
Retention rate. The attention rate's much lower, right? I mean, we're not that interesting, but no, it's fun. You see a lot of the same kids every year, a lot of the same families, watch the kids progress and grow, and get to be a part of it, even if it's just for a week every summer. So
All right. And Miami of Ohio's in town. We got to plug that.
yeah, absolutely.
Where are they as a program right now? Because they were so good for so long. And
Yeah.
obviously a little bit of a turnover.
Very similar to what you see in pro sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
The rebuild.
it's cyclical, right? So, at some point, you bring a new staff in, and they bring a new theme or idea, right? And so, new staffs come in. They've turned over 20 players, which is extremely unique and very, I don't know, seriously, very aggressive, and awesome that the university stood behind the coach and honored all the scholarships for players that weren't going to be on the team anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, moving forward. So they had the option to stay at school and go to school on their scholarship, or enter the portal and find a new place to play. So awesome that the school bought in for that. They're on board with getting the program back on track and being a national contender. And I've got a lot of faith in the staff and the message that they're bringing with the current players, but then also what they're selling to recruits and trying to show them that, hey, this is a school where you can develop, you can get better, and you can have an opportunity to play after and make a living. So
Is hockey still popular there among the students and everything?
yeah, I think that they had the first home weekend was a success, sold out. So when I was in school there, we were fortunate that the group, 5-6 years before I got there, started to become very competitive. So when I walked in, it was like, hey, we're
you guys were producing
top
NHL
team in the
players.
country, right? They're camping out outside the arena to get tickets for games. Like, it was a unbelievable experience for us. But we had a culture there where a lot of the times the week of practice was harder than playing in the games in the weekend because we had, very competitive players, but guys that were like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to be a pro hockey player. Right. So
Intense coach too and all that.
yeah. He ran a good program. Right. Like
where's he at now? Rico, right?
he's at St. Thomas. Right. And they've been,
Winning
building
some
that.
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Lindenwood? I mean, they just beat Denver.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I was talking to somebody earlier this week, right, and we're talking about college hockey because he was interested in is Mizzou going to make a move? Is somebody in the SEC going to make a move? And just being around Rico as a coach, I think that his strongest skills are probably in like building the program. If I was an SEC or an ACC school, I'd be calling Rico Blasi. Saying build me a hockey team.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's
and I think the first mover in one of these Power 5 conferences outside of the Big Ten, because they're already doing it, you can get good quick. It's a fun sport. It's exciting. It's.
You think we're gonna see that? Like a lot of these big brand schools start having D1 hockey teams?
We're
seeing it already. I mean,
I think someone's gonna do it. You need big cash though, because these programs are not gonna.
They're not making.
There's no revenue. They're not a revenue driver.
Okay.
Right. And so then you bring on a women's team too. Now you got 2 programs that are losing money. Right.
That's tough.
So how many people want to sign up to lose money? I don't know. You need a very, very influential and wealthy donor
willing to write checks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And lose money.
And you got to build an arena, right? So like most of these schools have basketball specific or whatever, and underwriting a single tenant arena is also a way to lose money.
Do you like the I'll leave you with this, the way it's changed now with the CHL? Now they still have college eligibility. I mean, you think that's going to help the college game?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. The only thing that kind of doesn't make sense to me is how you can go play in the American Hockey League or East Coast Hockey League.
Yeah, that one's confusing.
Come back and play college. Like if you turn pro, and I get it, it's been done, and baseball players have come back and played football or vice versa, and like that's fine. But to play the same sport, right? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I'm still trying to figure that one.
What I'm trying to figure out, and you may know better than I do, but what does this do? Opening it up to the CHL and having more Canadian players, more European players, great for the game. What's that do for the average AAA hockey player in St. Louis that has aspirations to play in college, right? Does he now have less of an opportunity?
Maybe.
Right? So then you hope that one of these big universities
the
makes
more the better
and starts to, grow the footprint of college hockey.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, Wise, always great to see you, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Go the Red Hawks. Is that they're still called
Red Hawks,
right?
baby? Yeah, they're well fed after last night.
You hosted the whole.
The alumni are moving a little slow this morning.
Are the alumni? A lot of alumni here for it?
We got Vinny Laverty sitting right here to my right.
In studio,
and he looks like he's moving slow this morning too. So,
do you have a lot of guys come in though?
So he came in town from Chicago. My brother's obviously local, and Grant Frederick, who's also local, alum. So we got us 4, and we'll see who turns up tonight, but we'll be there supporting.
All right, well, good luck, and good luck to Lindenwood too. I just hope it's
honestly, I root for Lindenwood on most nights, but not tonight.
No, that's understandable. All right, well, it's good to see you.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so it was great having Chris Wideman in studio with us. Jamal Mayers still coming up. So a longer show on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Hackett Security, premier security systems. Listen, residential, commercial, business, government, whatever it is you're looking for, take advantage of it with Hackett Security. Go to sleep at night. Have that peace of mind knowing Hackett Security is there for you. Great security cameras. I mean, they are so attentive too. Fire, police, whatever the situation calls for. When you design your residential security system, they know nothing's more important than the safety of the family. So listen, they come in. They are very precise in terms of how they put it together. 24/7 live monitoring. They've got the certified central monitoring station. It truly is incredible. Increased security with smart or magnetic stripe cards if that's what you want. You can get print scans, picture ID badges. They hook you up for the commercial security. Residential as well, obviously. They specialize in reliable, innovative burglar and fire alarms, always keeping a sharp eye on your assets. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're secure with Hackett Security. Give them a call today, 314-432-4200. 314-432-4200. Mike Hackett is flat out getting it done. Check him out online as well with HackettSecurity.com. Again, First Community brings us hockey sense each and every week. We talked about that Little Blues program. Get your son or daughter signed up today with Little Blues. Chris Wideman just gave the best endorsement ever. Ages 4 through 9, do it today. FirstCommunity.com. Blue Note Roofing, 314-920-5713. Call David Novak today. Let him take great care of you. Dirt Cheap Fun, your one-stop party shop now. You got to download that app. Check out all the specials and everything else you're looking for with Dirt Cheap. And do that today. And don't sleep on the party supplies. You have Halloween parties coming up. All the paper goods, all the decorations, the napkins, all of that. You can get everything at Dirt Cheap. Get it delivered for free when you use the promo code BLUES. You have to live within 10 miles of the actual store. But there's so many stores around town. I guarantee you live in the radius. So check that out. Get that app downloaded today and get that free delivery from the one and only Dirt Cheap Fun, your one-stop party shop. Cheap, fun. All right. Jamal Mayers joins me next here in studio. Looking forward to our conversation with Jammer. Don't go anywhere. All right, Jamal Mayers is with us. Jammer, Blues lose 7-4 last night. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit here, but I'm just, getting off to a start is so important for so many different reasons, right? You just want to feel good about your game. You want to individually feel good about where you're at. As a team, you want to feel good about where you're at.
Yep.
If you're Jim Montgomery right now, you saw him be a little bit frustrated earlier in the homestand. Then they come out and they don't have a good first period again. How do you look at this team in terms of where they're at right now?
I think perhaps they have an inflated sense of who they are as a team. And maybe, sometimes when you play, you're not your starter, the team takes the exhale and says, oh, Utah, we can take a break. As they quickly found out, that team, especially their top six, have some really, really special high-end skill on both two lines, on both first and second line. Let's be honest, I think it's easy to say, well, Hofer didn't have his stuff, which he didn't. But when you look up at the board, sure, they had, 3 goals on 9 shots or whatever it was, 4 goals on whatever it was. You still only had 3 shots.
8 shot attempts in the first period.
Like that. To me, it's a sense of urgency. They have the speed, they have the skill, they have the vet. Like, it's the urgency has to be now. And I think that, I feel bad for Monty because I'm sure he's been saying all those things. And I'm sure the coaching staff's relaying all that. It's on the players. It's on the players to get it going. And honestly, like sometimes when this happens, sometimes your GM goes and says, okay, you guys want to mess around? We're going to take out, we're going to mix up we're going to change something. And they go out and make a trade to get their attention. Or this could be as simple as there's very few times where managers come down to the room. I wouldn't be shocked if this continues for a couple more games that maybe you see Army come down to the room. Doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But I feel it's that much of a sense of urgency because if you let this linger into November, you're going to get to Thanksgiving very quickly and put yourself in a hole you may not be able to recover from.
Yeah. And in the past, they've been able to climb out of it. 2019, last year. But Doug Armstrong talked about that this year. He thought it was so important for this team to get off to a good start because you just can't rely on chasing it and getting back in like you have a couple times in recent memory.
Well, the problem is when you chase it, then you don't have enough energy to go as far as you really want to go. like your finish line is
The end.
second round.
Yeah.
You just putter out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the sense of urgency is now.
They had a chance with the power play last night to really make a difference. They got the power play goal, and then they had momentum in the game and a couple more power plays. And Monty gave those opportunities to the Thomases and the Kyrus and that particular unit, which I think leads to a lot of other guys not seeing as much ice, obviously, and maybe losing some of that rhythm. I mean, you look at a guy like Jake Neighbors, he played under 14 minutes last night. He was -3 in the game. And I don't know which goals he was on the ice for. And, obviously a lot of goofy stuff happened early in the game. So I don't know how to look at plus minus. But, a player like him, it's kind of hard to really feel like you're involved in the game when you're not getting those touches or not getting the ice time on the power play.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, that's a decision they've made, the conscious decision, I think, to have two equal type units to balance them out. I've always been a firm believer in having a first unit and a clear second unit.
Mhm.
Not to take anything away from the second unit, but let's be honest. After the entry, there's no reason why a power play can't stay on the ice for a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's all in zone.
Right.
They're not getting tired.
Right.
Like these guys are in tremendous shape. That's why I'm a huge proponent nowadays of loading up on that first unit.
Yeah.
Those guys can play on the power play for a
Mhm.
minute and 40 seconds easily, and still have enough energy for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with you. We're just they're lacking some type of cohesion or chemistry up front right now. And I think getting Sundqvist back was big last night. He had a great game. He had a couple of really nice assists, won some big faceoffs. Like, he's just a veteran player. You can see how he makes a difference when he's in there. They're going to get Toropchenko back on Monday, I believe, is the plan for him to play next Monday in Pittsburgh. So the big question mark will be who comes out. Is a guy like Bukestad, like, is he, like Matthew Joseph, honestly, is, he's getting under the skin of the other team. He's not finishing, and he's had a couple of chances to finish, some breakaways, but his speed is noticeable. And he had those guys frustrated last night. They were chasing after him after the whistle and some of that stuff. So I don't know if he's the guy that comes out. Like, how do you see Toropchenko coming in and, like, Bukestad's a guy they signed to a 2-year deal, and I think at 1.7. So I don't know if he's the guy that comes out. I'm just curious what you think of it.
Well, I think historically it's been Joseph. For whatever reason, he seems to be the easy one they take out. I like his game. I think he brings a lot to the table, as you mentioned. The pace that he plays with, I think you need guys who play with pace and are disruptive, particularly in your bottom six. I think Bukestad doesn't play with that pace. I think that affects his game. I don't think it takes anything away from his game if you take him in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's at that point in his career that he could come out and go back in on the second line and still be the same player.
Okay.
That would be my choice, but I'm not there day to day to really evaluate that. But I like Joseph. I don't know what they want necessarily from him that they're not seeing sometimes when he comes out, because I think that he's an effective player, plays with pace. Yeah, he's not going to finish then you don't have to pay him like he's supposed to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wash.
He's making almost $3 million, though.
Yeah, but those guys aren't expected to score.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need from him? 12, 15 goals.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you'll take 12 to 15.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean,
is that what they're paying nowadays for 15 goals?
I'm just saying, you'll take 12 to 15 goals. If he can give you 12 to 15, I think you would certainly take that. But listen, he's far from being the issue right now. Logan Mailloux, a lot of guys, a lot of resources around the organization. I mean, sometimes it's, and listen, he's got the Al McInneses and the Chris Prongers and the Robert Bortuzos. I mean, that's a luxury to have around to talk to and bounce stuff off of. But at the end of the day, he's just going to have to figure it out at the same time, right? And it's going to take some time. I'm just not overreacting to his start. I think if he's having these issues a year from now, 18 months from now, like, then, maybe there's a reason to be concerned and maybe say, hey, okay, this isn't the guy they thought they were getting. But I seen him play. And you talk to other players and people who know him before he came over to St. Louis, like, people rave about his ability, and I just think we're going to see it, but it might take a little bit of time.
I think he's got the luxury. They've got a nice defensive core that are in the meat of their careers. There's no real urgency for him to be put under the fire.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing for me is that with a skilled player as him, is that he maintains his confidence. He doesn't take it. Like, I think the communication is probably the most important to me. And I'm sure they're doing a tremendous job of that, in that saying, you're on the path that we expected, so that he can keep and own his confidence, because you want him making plays. You want him being confident with the puck. That's where he's going to be his best, and not to internalize it as, oh man, I'm disappointing them. I'm not meeting up to the standards. No, you're exactly where we thought you'd be. This is exactly what we thought would happen.
Mm-hmm.
This was our plan all along, and continue to push, continue to listen, continue to watch and absorb, and it's going to help you get better. Let's see where he is. Let's see where he is in March.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100% on that one. Philip Broberg, how good is he?
Oh, just, Edmonton's got to be kicking themselves,
Oh, my God.
because what he's able to do and how he plays the game, and his awareness, and his plays every situation. You don't get those guys in trades very often.
No.
You usually have to draft them.
All right, so the Blues go to Detroit tomorrow. I mean, they got off to a good start, and everyone was kind of raving about Detroit. They lost the first game against Montreal. The head coach calls them out. Then they won a bunch of games, and now they've lost a couple, including last night, too. The Islanders, where they gave up 7 goals.
Yes.
Patrick Kane hasn't played the last couple of games. So are we seeing, how much do you make out of teams getting off to a really good start? When do we know who you are for real?
I think you don't know until literally Thanksgiving. I think that, not surprised Todd got under them and got them rolling. And, perhaps this is a little bit of a regression in regard to their play, but they're a team that are kind of been stuck in the middle for a while. What are they?
Mm-hmm.
They've backfilled their roster with older guys, in my opinion, and you're like, well, you're still not making the playoffs. Are you retooling this thing, or are you on the up and up? Are you coming up? I just don't know if they know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, they're kind of stuck in this middle ground. And, they're a good team. They have some good veterans. I'm not quite sure where they are. It's are they going to strip it down? Are they going to try to make the playoffs? What are they doing?
Yeah.
So it's a tough position, I think, for Todd to be in. But I know, having played for him, that he's going to get the most out of that group.
And that Matthew Schaefer is, oh my God. We haven't seen him play very much because of the mono early last year. Then he got hurt in the World Juniors.
Right.
We just hadn't seen him play. I didn't realize he was this good. But even when he got hurt in the World Juniors, talking to scouts, they said he's still by far, he's the number 1 overall pick. That'll never change. So
they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize how great of a skater he was.
Yeah.
And there's a fire in him too. His personality, his makeup is, I'm not quite sure. He's one of those guys where he's never going to quite be satisfied.
Yeah.
You can already tell that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really exciting to
immediately
watch.
fits in with the veteran guys in the room, all that.
He gets it. It's going to be really interesting to see what he is in 5 years.
Mm.
Right? I don't know. Is he going to be more like Devon Toews, or is he going to be more like Makar?
Makar, exactly.
You know what I mean? We'll see. Time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
I ease off on the Makar comparisons.
Yeah.
Because
who threw that out there? I think it was the head coach of Winnipeg threw that out.
Yeah, I think they need to temper that.
Scotty Arneal.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. I mean, Cale Makar. He doesn't remind me of Makar. I know he's a great skater or whatever, but he just has his own unique skill set.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's not many guys that play like Matthew Schaefer either.
Precisely.
So, Celebrini gets the hat trick, a 5-point game yesterday. Will Smith, that'll be big for his confidence because he gets the overtime winner. Nice play all around by Celebrini to dig the puck out and to make the next play.
Call that hard skill, Andy.
How good are these two guys?
Oh.
And speaking of, specifically Celebrini, and that's to do that in Madison Square Garden, obviously, is a breakout game for him. So I was just talking to Wideman about him being on a Canadian Olympic team. I just feel like, it's going to be hard to leave him off, to be honest with you.
I think he's got the endorsement of a guy like Crosby and McKinnon. I think that because he can do so much, everything else that he does offensively will be gravy.
Mm-hmm.
He can come in and be a 4th-line center. Who's going to want to play against him?
Exactly.
Which is amazing at 19.
I know.
That he's that hard to play against.
Yeah.
He's the perfect example for any young hockey player to watch.
And that was their first win of the year, right? So And that's tough for a young kid to lose all the time, too, because he is the face of that team.
Yes.
So even when you're 19, do you take that pressure on?
He has. He really has taken it all on. And it's a little bit unfortunate because he is so young, but I think he's got the mental makeup for it. Wouldn't have been surprised if they name him the captain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, now.
Just do it.
You think he's ready?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are we waiting for?
And I think it create a little bit of buzz in the market and all that stuff and just get some jersey sales going.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Might as well go ahead and do it. Crosby's got 6 goals.
Impressive.
I mean, when he gets off to a hot start like this, he typically doesn't really slow down throughout the course of the year, you know?
I think he's making a statement that I'm not just going to be on Team Canada because of my resume. I'm going to be there because of merit. I'm going to be the captain for a reason, and he's trying to show everybody that.
Yeah.
It's funny, like these guys that we're talking about, they just find they always have to create another reason of
to motivate
motivation.
themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love it. All right, Blues heading to Detroit, then Pittsburgh. Speaking of Red Wings, and then the Penguins. So, and why do you think they're better on the road than at home? Like, is there a reason for that? Like, how what can you point to when a team really tends to look different at home versus when they're on the road?
Well, sometimes at home, the saying is you want to put on a show, and on the road, it's like business. It's a business trip.
Simple.
So I think they, short of making the guys stay in a hotel at the next home before the next home game, it's treating it as such.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think when the Blues are at their best is when they're playing predictable, when they're playing direct, when they're hard to play against, and when they play with that urgency that we talked about at the top of the show and if they don't do that, they're going to be easy to play against, and that's not a good recipe for them. They don't have the super, super high-end depth and skill to play that way. They've got to play a muck it, grind it type of game.
Yeah. And they got great goaltending on the road, too, from Hofer and Bennington. All right, Dobbs Tires and Auto Centers, man. This is a great time to get those tires in preparation for what's to come with the weather around the corner.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're heading into winter, and it doesn't matter. They have 43 store locations. Dobbs is offering winter driving deals. The best tire brands, including up to a $275 savings on new Goodyear tires, plus other money saver deals on sets of Cooper, Continental, and BF Goodrich. It doesn't matter what you drive, a car, light truck, van, SUV, hybrid, EV, or Dobbs has a team of experienced tire technicians and ASC certified associates to service them all. Go to Dobbs.com for more to get complete details.
Spas and more. I could use one of those right now.
Dude, I'll tell you what, with the weather the way it is, I can't wait for mine. Spas and More is a local master spas dealer with 2 locations, Sunset Hills and Overland Park in Kansas City. Mike Leahy is the owner of Spas and More. They have Master Spas, which is an American hot tub swim spa manufacturer in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the largest hot tub and swim spa manufacturer in the U.S. You know the old Michael Phelps thing they have there, the
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Unbelievable cold tubs. And Spas and More offers high-quality hot tubs, swim spas, cold tubs, infrared saunas for all of your health, wellness, and relaxation needs. Turn your backyard into an oasis of your dreams with Master Spas from Spas and More. Spas and More is located at 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills, where we put the in spa.
Angie Hess, by the way, was at the game last night. Big shout out, Dave.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go.
Big shout out. I could use one of those swim spas.
Buddy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I like it. Now you're on board. I like it.
I'm on board. She knows that. What are you having for dinner, though, tonight? Because you're home this weekend. So
Buddy.
I'm jealous.
It's my birthday, too.
Today?
I didn't even say happy
Big
birthday.
shout out, Jeremy.
Unbelievable.
Happy birthday.
That's it. Yeah. Barlino's, 5 restaurants. Barlino's South, Barlino's Osteria, Chris's Pancake and Dining, Chris's at the Dock and Barlino's Twin Oaks, my favorite one. They forge many lasting relationships with their customers. Their family model, cook good food, serve plenty. 50 plus years in business. I'm 51. Only 2 places to dine, at home or at one of Barlino's family of
All
restaurants.
right, big shout out. Happy birthday, Jammer.
Thanks,
What's on the docket for
we got dinner tonight.
You do?
So that's it. And a
Do
tournament.
you like your birthday?
No,
It's hard.
it's
man.
dude,
I know.
you're getting there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You're getting there.
It's hard.
You're approaching.
And we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Thanks for coming in, as always.
Absolutely.
All right,
Tons of fun.
Jamal Mayers. All right, this has been Hockey Sense. It's always brought to you by First Community. Aiden in the house. We're at the Half Coast Studios. Great to have you with us. Our Friday tradition all year round continues with Hockey Sense. Have a great weekend, everybody.